My heart goes out to my fellow Americans in the great state of California. Your beautiful state might not have internal combustion engines for much longer. So the big news we'll talk today is about California phasing out internal combustion engines, but we also have other electric news like Volvo killing off their dealerships, the exciting new BMW 5 Series that has fully electric variants as well as mild hybrids and even diesels. We'll talk about how a GR86 owner is getting denied warranty work. Once again, that happened last year. It's happening again. And Honda is returning to F1. Hit the like button whether you want gasoline engines to survive or not. And I'll see you guys in the comments down below on your opinions before we even get into the article of whether you think gasoline or internal combustion engines deserve to be around for a long time. Affordability is a big part of it, right? Well, I guess I'll get into my opinions here at the end. All right, so California is asking the Biden administration for permission by 2035 for all their vehicles sold in California to be either electric or plug-in electric hybrid. So at least internal combustion engines could live in the form of a plug-in hybrid. They would start killing off when reducing internal combustion engine volumes in 2026 and would completely phase them out by 2035. But on the federal end, the EPA has released in April to drastically cut vehicle emissions through 2032. And so this hasn't been forced yet or approved, I guess you could say. But this would affect all the states, not just California. California is a little bit more radical, but EPA is saying 60% battery electric vehicles by 2030, 67% by 2032. And this past year, we didn't even hit 6% in fully battery electric vehicles in the United States. So we're going from 6% to 60% in a matter of 8 years. California's rollout seems to even be more aggressive than the EPA's. So they want to cut 25% smog-causing pollution from light-duty vehicles by 2037. And the rules mandate that 35% of new cars be sold be plug-in hybrid electric vehicles, EVs, or hydrogen fuel cell by 2026. Actually, I don't think that is too lofty. It's going to be a stretch, especially with the affordability of all of these vehicles. Look, if you want a plug-in hybrid vehicle, the prices for that start maybe in the mid 30s. And by 2030, just 4 years after the requiring 35% EVs, 68% just 4 years later in 2030. How is that possible? To essentially double your EVs being sold, that sounds quite lofty. And 100% by 2035. And earlier this month, Rhode Island joined Washington, Virginia, Vermont, Oregon, New York, and Massachusetts in adopting California's EV requirements. And by 2035, even though they'll be selling plug-in hybrids, the manufacturers can't make more than 20% of their EV volume as plug-in hybrid. They're expecting only they're mandating only up to 20% of their fleet be plug-in hybrid and a minimum of a 50-mile all-electric range by 2035. So we're talking battery packs on average, well, it depends on the size of the vehicle. So I have the Santa Fe plug-in hybrid vehicle right now. I've been driving, that gets about 30 miles of electric range. So you're talking about a battery pack that probably needs to be double the size. So we're talking at least 30 kilowatt hour battery packs, probably for larger vehicles, and maybe 20 kilowatt hour battery packs for smaller vehicles. Now with current battery technology, that makes the batteries extremely huge and heavy for a plug-in hybrid, so your efficiency goes down because you're carrying around more batteries. If we somehow get solid-state batteries by 2035, that could really drive up the efficiency and mileage range on a smaller battery pack. And do you think California has the electric grid to support fully battery electric vehicles by 2035, 80%? And some of the, just like what? A couple percent will be hydrogen and 20% will be plug-in hybrid. The death of enthusiast cars as we know it, the death of pickup trucks with efficient engines and being able to tow massive ranges and quick fuel ups, that sort of future of practicality and convenience seems to be slipping away. But if there are big breakthroughs in affordability, abundance of electricity, abundance of chargers, then I guess it's possible, but that's a lot of ifs. And I guess we need a huge breakthrough in battery technology if I didn't say that already. So we're going to keep moving. Also, you guys battle it out down below on your thoughts of California's killing of gasoline engines and forcing EVs down their citizens' throats, whether they like it or not. Volvo to end UK dealerships as it transitions to Tesla-style sales. It looks like they've already implemented this in the UK, and Volvo very much would rather have this sort of implementation also in the United States. I think most of the OEMs would love to see the middleman cut out and sell directly to consumer. That instantly raises their profits an additional 6%. And we see Tesla being able to like drop prices radically and to be able to do it easily, since it's just they just sell them out of their own warehouses instead of having this middleman to soak up their profits. So, I see the purpose of dealers. I see both ends of the spectrum. But it is what it is. I'll see you guys down below if you want dealers to be around in the future. Right now, they don't have a good reputation. The vast majority of them are marking up cars, and they have been since 2021, essentially. And it doesn't look to be getting any better anytime soon. Unless the economy goes to complete crap and then people can't afford cars, then they'll have to deal on them. But interest rates remain high, and so dealers... it's kind of a mess. So I'll see you guys down below on your thoughts. So all new 2024 BMW 5 Series. I probably could have made a video just on the new 5 Series here. You can get it in the i5, not in the wagon though, in the United States. You can get the i5 wagon in Europe, the estate. It's quite unfortunate. We get snuffed on wagons, but there's going to be the top of the line i5 M60 xDrive. xDrive is our all-wheel drive setup. 590 horsepower, 0 to 60 under 4 seconds. But you pay for that sort of performance because it is only 256 miles of range. Now, the far more practical model with 335 horsepower, which will give you a 0 to 60, maybe the upper fours, has an estimated range of nearly 300 miles. I wish this range was actually a little bit higher for how much horsepower you're giving up here. They actually have prices here in America. So if you wanted to get your hands on, your first ever electric i5, starts around $70,000. The top of the line M60 i5 is essentially in the upper $80,000. The 540i xDrive comes in about upper $60,000. The new 5 Series by BMW is nearly 200 inches long now. It's grown over 3 inches. It's wider by about 1.5 inches, and it's actually gotten taller, probably so they can fit the battery packs underneath the floor. So it's gotten taller by a massive 1.5 inches, which is probably not going to help the driving dynamics, I would estimate. Wheelbase is only increased less than 1 inch, but it is still a massive 118 inches. So the driving dynamics in terms of wheelbase, it won't feel any different there. I take back my statement. The 0 to 60 on the eDrive 40 is just under 6 seconds. That's actually not very fast for a fully electric vehicle. I just drove the Volvo C40 Recharge. It has 402 horsepower, does 0 to 60 in like 4.3 seconds. It's super fast. It's going to cost way less than this. I know that's like apples to oranges, but still, I'm not happy with this sort of acceleration starting around upper $60,000 for this i5 E40. In terms of charging, i5 gets up to 11 kilowatts. I charge at 3.3 kilowatts at home. That's great for plug-in hybrids. It's a little bit underwhelming for fully battery electric vehicles. I think my socket allows up to 6.6 kilowatts, which that would be probably enough for me if I were to have a fully battery electric charging on a fairly regular basis. Anyways, 205 kilowatts is the DC fast charging speed, and so it can do 10 to 80% in about a half an hour. And typical German press releases, they are extremely long and wordy, so you really have to sift through to get to the good stuff. Battery side, it has a pretty big battery on here, 84.3 kilowatt hours, and it still cannot reach 300 miles on the rear-wheel drive model. And this is what happens when you have a vehicle platform that you have to modify to make everything work. We see this with Toyota and their inefficiencies on their electric vehicles. They just can't put a bigger battery pack in their ETNJ platform because it needs to share that platform, or essentially that platform is derived from their K platform, which is their normal hybrids and other vehicles in their lineup. So BMW is trying to do the same here. So they need to switch over to a fully dedicated battery electric platform to be running in parallel, in my opinion, to their 5 Series and 3 Series, in my opinion. So I'm really not impressed with this i5. I think the i4 is probably a better vehicle, and it's going to cost less. i7 looks pretty badass. I know this i5 looks pretty okay as well, but I think actually the iX in terms of specs might be the most desirable electric BMW, but at the same time, that thing is hideous. So we got to keep moving. Toyota GR86 owner says Toyota denied warranty work after engine exploded on the track. I'll put this link in the description below. It didn't look like he was doing anything out of the ordinary other than tracking it. From what I understand, he wasn't like banging it off the rev limiter. He was driving it pretty normal. Engine blew on him as he's going around the track. And this is not the first time we've seen a GR86 have its engine blown while Toyota refuses to cover it under warranty. So I'll see you guys down below under that. It's just unfortunate, and hopefully he gets his engine replaced by Toyota. Because remember, last year, Toyota got a bunch of backlash from enthusiasts because they're not covering their car in ways they should be. All right, Honda. Coming back to Formula One, they're giving the powertrain unit to Aston Martin. So this is happening in 2026. And in 2026, F1 will implement new regulations with an engine/electric motor maximum power output ratio 50-50. And they're required to use 100% sustainable fuel. And in 2026, they will be required a reduction of engine output while tripling the output of energy recovery from the ERS. I'll see you guys on your opinions on that. I think most of us would prefer just a pure gasoline engine experience in F1 and most racing, but it is what it is, and it presents new challenges for these automakers. I guess it's exciting because it hasn't been done before, but I'll see you guys down below. I'm going to end it there. Thank you guys for watching. If you're in California especially, can't wait to see what you have to say about gasoline cars being outlawed there by 2035. Have a great day. Take care of yourselves and peace.